Coming up today, we've got the latest on the big ones. Gears of War 2, Fable 2, and Killzone 2.
Plus, breaking news on BioShock for the PS3 and Guitar Hero World Tour, and our review of the new Penny Arcade game. X-Play starts right now.
Hello and welcome to X-Play. I'm Morgan Webb.
And I'm Adam Sessler, and we're coming to you from the G4 Studios in Los Angeles on Thursday, May 22nd.
Now, later on, we go head-to-head to see who has the most momentum heading into E3. And we have Adam's exclusive interview with Peter Molyneux, revealing the very latest on Fable 2. But first, let's get the day's top headlines in the gaming update.
PlayStation 3 owners should be very happy to hear that BioShock may finally be heading to their console. Computers and VideoGames.com says the rumors are true, and it posted a cover of a UK PlayStation mag called PSM3. The issue promises to prove why one of the 360's best shooters is going to be even better on the PS3. The revealing issue is scheduled to hit newsstands in the UK on June 5th. So far, the game's publisher, Take-Two, has not commented on the validity of this rumor. Activision has announced the next installment in their ridiculously popular rhythm-based music franchise will be called Guitar Hero World Tour. The game will feature an innovative music studio that will allow players to compose, record, edit, and share their own music. A new Battle of the Bands mode will let up to 8 players duke it out, and for the first time, the Wii version of the game will allow in-game downloadable content. World Tour will be multi-platform, but best of all, the game's instruments will all be wireless, so you'll have to buy them all over again. Finally, we have a new batch of Prince of Persia screenshots. Ubisoft's cel-shaded Freerunner is sporting a new glove complete with metal claws. These sharpened fingertips appear to affect the prince's acrobatic movements and can no doubt be used as a deadly weapon in hand-to-hand combat. Although an official name still hasn't been announced for the game, we expect new details will emerge from the publisher's Ubi Days event in Paris next week. That's it for today's gaming update. For the latest news, be sure to check out our website, g4tv.com/xplay. For now, let's go over to Morgan for a look at the best of the best
of the best. Thanks, Adam. Now, last week, a handful of the big publishers held their own Gamers Days in San Francisco. It was a chance for them to display some fantastic new titles, schmooze with other industry heavyweights, and, ride trolley cars, because that's what you do. Here are the big ones. Sure, GTA 4 is out, but that doesn't mean there's nothing left to look forward to. 2008 isn't even half over, and Microsoft and Sony have some huge titles on the way for the fall. Perhaps the most hotly anticipated Microsoft game is Gears of War 2. This follow-up to 2006's Stop and Pop co-op romp is looking like a vast improvement over its already excellent predecessor. Destructible environments add extra realism and visual punch, while a much greater number of enemies attacking at once ratchets up the scale of the action. New abilities from Marcus and pals were revealed at the Gamers Day, such as grabbing a downed enemy and using him as a shield.
Gotta get closer!
Expect to see a lot more of Gears 2 at E3 in July, and expect to be playing it sometime in November. A few more details about Fable 2 were brought to light, including an online mode that will supposedly revolutionize multiplayer. Looks like we'll have to wait for E3 to find out exactly what Peter Molyneux is about to unleash on RPG fans. Too Human continues to excite and enthrall. Due out in August, Silicon Knight's cyberpunk take on Norse mythology will allow 2 players to battle through the storyline cooperatively. Too Human is something of a mix of the action of Devil May Cry and the scope and exploration of Diablo. Huge dungeons, tons of enemies to kill, and literally millions of item combinations to experiment with. Plus, there are 5 character classes to play with, guaranteeing you won't be running out of things to do anytime soon. Sony showed off no less impressive goods, including the long-awaited Killzone 2.
Blood mine.
The first thing you'll notice is that the game looks a lot better than it did just a year ago at E3, with newly added effects everywhere.
Yeah!
The second single-player level, Corinth River, was shown off and wowed us with its cutting-edge lighting and particle effects. So the good news is that Killzone 2 is inching closer and closer to that E3 2005 video. The bad news is we'll be waiting until February 2009 for this one. Little Big Planet continues to be completely adorable every time it's shown. The one thing that might not be adorable is the inevitable flood of user-made content that might be ironically termed mature. To curb the ambitions of those who are tempted to make their Sackboy mean something totally different than Sony intended, a robust system of handling objectionable content has been implemented. Players will be able to report offenders on the fly, which will then allow the developers to take quick action against anyone making LBP anything less than brilliantly cuddly.
Well, this year, two of gaming's biggest giants are set to square off once again. With the PS3 and the 360 still running very close in terms of sales, no one's resting on their laurels, and the big guns are coming out. Microsoft and Sony unveiled their latest projects during their recent Gamers Day event. From the promise of revolutionary user-created content in Little Big Planet to rework classics like Banjo-Kazooie to highly anticipated blockbuster sequels like Killzone 2 and Gears of War 2, both companies are putting it all on the line in 2008. With Microsoft and Sony each claiming victory over recent sales numbers and boasting that they've got the ultimate holiday lineup, who's really the best and who's got the momentum heading into this year's E3? Joining us today from San Francisco, editorial director for the One-Up Network, Sam Kennedy. Glad to have you back on, Sam.
Glad to be here.
And also joining us today, console editor-in-chief at GameSpy.com, Will Tuttle, and thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
So, Will, let's start up with Microsoft. They have two very big sequels, Fable 2, Gears of War 2. How are they shaping up, and do they complement each other well enough to really, make it through 2008?
Well, I think they complement themselves very well. They're two very different games for very different audiences. I think Gears of War 2 probably has a little bit more of the mainstream appeal than Fable 2 does. And obviously Fable 2 is incredibly ambitious, so we don't really know if Peter Molyneux is going to be able to carry it out. But I think both games should be pretty strong this year for Microsoft.
Yeah, skepticism really does follow that man. Actually, Will, also I want to follow up. Banjo-Kazooie was there, and they've taken that game in a very new direction from what we're used to. Do you think this is a wise decision on their part, and why do you think they did it?
I'm not really sure yet. We haven't really quite seen enough of the game to know if they completely ruined the Banjo franchise or if it's still going to be strong. I'm not really sure exactly why they did it. I think maybe just they wanted to take it in a new direction. It's a new company. Obviously, the first game came out when Rare was still aligned with Nintendo. But it sounds like a lot of people really aren't that happy with the way the Banjo franchise is turning out. So hopefully they'll be able to turn it around or at least show us something that really blows us away.
Now, Sam, Sony also has a lineup with a lot of twos in it, be it Resistance and Killzone. How is their lineup shaping up for more or less 2008, a little bit into 2009?
Right, yeah, no, I thought it looked really, really good. I mean, Killzone 2 was very, very impressive looking, but I felt actually Resistance 2 was the one that surprised me the most just because it played really well. Like, I loved the multiplayer, the squad system, and all the weapons they included. Resistance 2 was a lot of fun, so that was the one that kind of impressed me more. Like, Killzone looks really good, but we don't really know if it's going to do anything, really new.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Resistance 2 seemed to have some of the best multiplayer I've seen in a long time.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The other big game, obviously, from Sony is Little Big Planet, which is definitely the most unique, I think, of the bunch from both Microsoft and Sony. Do you think it's going to have the mainstream appeal that they hope it will have?
I certainly hope so. It just is so impressive. I mean, you can do everything in the game. It's just, every time I see it, I'm just more and more impressed. So I really, really do hope that the mainstream latches onto this game.
Now, Will, looking at Microsoft and or Sony, do you think either of these two companies have the killer app to really, be the most talked about game outside of Grand Theft Auto 4 for 2008?
Well, I think Gears of War 2 is definitely the big hitter for Microsoft, and I think you know, I think a lot of people really like the first game a lot, and while the second game might be a little bit more of the same, it sounds like they're adding some new stuff, and there's already some controversy surrounding it. There were some articles out yesterday talking about some of the chainsaw kills, so that's bound to increase the sales. Sony's killer app, it's a little too early to say. Both Killzone and Resistance look extremely strong, although we haven't seen that much of the multiplayer for Killzone or the single player for Resistance. But like Sam said, I think Little Big Planet has a really good chance to be one of those games that once people start talking about it, it's really going to catch on.
And I hope so as well. Now, Sam, I think one of the big things is we've only seen the lineup of the games we know about. Do you think that, you know, with these companies that are going to roll out something new and exciting at E3 this year that's going to be the wow factor through 2009?
Right. Yeah. No, I think every company does have some stuff in store for E3. You know, Sony, I would really hope they would show the new game from the Eco team. You know, that's one that everybody's been waiting to see, and they've been kind of holding on to that one. Microsoft might show some more of the Halo projects that they have coming, and Nintendo, I would hope they would show some of their new Animal Crossing game for the Wii.
Yeah, Will, I think that's actually the big question mark hovering over everything is we don't know anything that Nintendo's planning for the second half of the year, maybe Animal Crossing, but why are they holding back, and do you think they're actually going to come forth with something that's going to get us excited?
I mean, does Nintendo ever really tell us what they have up their sleeve?
No.
I mean, we have no idea what they're going to be showing. I have a feeling we'll probably see another Zelda game possibly announced, probably Mario Party 230 something. You know, I think they'll have some surprises in store for us. I personally think Microsoft is going to focus more on some of their other offerings. There's a lot of talk about them doing stuff with Netflix, making a lot more movies on demand over Xbox Live Marketplace. So I think we'll see a little bit of Halo stuff here and there, but I think that their big announcement is going to be something along those lines.
Well, all I know is we all need something so we can write about it. All right, that's all the time we have, guys. Thank you so much, Sam and Will. And I know what you're thinking at home. You can never get enough Adam Sessler. Who can blame you? Get in front of the computer and video chat with me live after Tuesday's X-Play at 8:30 Eastern. That's 5:30 for all you West Coasters. Go to stickcam.com/X-Play to go one-on-one with me after Tuesday's show. Be nice. But now, let's go back over to Morgan.
We have to take a quick break, but there's lots more X-Play still to come. Here is what we've got.
Coming up on X-Play, we catch up with Gabe and Tycho as we review their first foray into the world of actual video games. It's Penny Arcade Adventures on the Rain-Slick Precipice of Darkness, Episode 1. Then, There Goes the Neighborhood. We fend off zombie invaders when we preview Monster Madness Grave Danger. Plus, don't miss Adam's interview with legendary game designer Peter Molyneux. He'll reveal some of the revolutionary things we can expect to see in the long-awaited Fable 2. You don't want to miss it.
Are celebrities worth more in one piece, or should we sell them for parts? Filter begins in 60 seconds.
1-800-372-4052 or visit us on the web.
Hi, I'm Olivia Munn. The world throws so much at you, you need a filter. Celebrities have been insuring their body parts for ages. Here are my 3 favorites. In third place, country singer Dolly Parton once insured her breasts for $600,000. How much is that per pound? More recently, R&B chanteuse Mariah Carey had her legs insured for a cool $1 billion. Crazy is as crazy does. And finally, Tom Jones insured his chest hair for $7 million. If you don't know who Tom Jones is, ask your mom, but be warned, what you hear may alter your perception of her forever. Hit me up on the web at g4tv.com/filter. Until next time, I'm Olivia Munn, and I got a lift.
The masterminds of the video game revolution return.
I didn't do anything wrong except make an extremely violent video game. And that's not a crime, dude. That's America.
From the creators of Code Monkeys comes Code Monkeys Season 2. As offensive and raunchy as South Park, only better.
I wish you were in a coma so I could show you just how much I love you.
Like an arcade game with potty mouth.
There is no such thing as bad press, dude. Just ask Charles Manson.
Code Monkeys Season 2 premieres June 1st on G4. And check out the exclusive web premiere right now on Break.com.
Welcome back to X-Play. The first Fable came with a lot of big promises that the Xbox's hardware couldn't quite deliver on. In the second chapter of this role-playing epic, designer Peter Molyneux ensures that Behind the Hype is a solid game. And All Access Pass to sit down with the man himself. So, Fable 2, you've been talking a little bit more about story and sort of your ambitions with this storytelling. What are you aiming at? What's the main goal?
It's so important to me that we tell a dramatic story. Now, what does that mean? I mean, I'm sure every time anyone makes a film or writes a book, they want to tell a dramatic story. So I like to set myself measures, and my measure is I want you to call this in being your top 5 great stories that you've experienced. Now, I'm not just talking about games here. This is how ridiculously ambitious I am, and I get myself into tremendous trouble. But why not say, why shouldn't this be as dramatic as a film that you've seen or a book you've seen?
One thing you also talked about is the way in which the player's choices. Is the player going to be as aware of that they're at the precipice of a big decision that can alter how the course of the game is going to go?
How do you know as a player that these things are going to have these effects? The answer is you don't, just like in real life. You don't know whether you're helping that person across the street may end up leading you into a different path in your life. You don't know.
Are you expecting players to want to play through this game more than once, to be able to, try out different combinations to get different results?
And obviously it's great if a person plays through your game twice or 2 or 3 times. I think it's a shame though, because when you finish the story, it's not the end of the game. You can carry on playing because you have this overriding challenge of actually buying things and owning things. And this is a very, very cool mechanic, is that the more you own and the more you buy, the more quests that you unlock. So I hope that people carry on playing Fable and carry on playing through the bigger story of, one day you're going to be emperor of the whole of Albion. That means you own almost everything in the world.
Can I tell you how excited I am to play it, Peter?
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for the question.
Gabe and Tycho are known for their unique brand of humor in their comic strip, Penny Arcade, and now these two jokers are making the jump to an Xbox or a computer near you. But here's our review of Penny Arcade Adventures on the Rain-Slick Precipice of Darkness, Episode 1. Has this ever happened to you? You're on the front lawn raking leaves, or if you're like me, your hired help is raking leaves, when out of nowhere, a damn robot or fruit, as it were, steps on your house and goes on its merry way. Such is the wild, crazy world of Penny Arcade Adventures on the Rain-Slick Precipice of Darkness, Episode 1. Semi-based on the popular webcomics of the same name, these Penny Arcade Adventures will be showing up several times a year for download. Taking place in the year 1922, obviously, this Lovecraftian adventure is quite easy to figure out. It's more or less a turn-based game. Is that robot urinating? That is so lowbrow. The main enemies here are the fruit. Yeah, the fruit. That's their name, fruit. What is that fruit doing to that piece of fruit? Oh, that's unpleasant. But it's not all about these fruit, robots to battle. There's mimes. Mimes? I hate mimes. Take that back. I like mimes. No, I hate them. The bad thing, this Xbox Live game costs $20. I don't know about that one. The game definitely won't make it to a Games for Cheap Bastards segment. Doesn't make it bad, though. It's good, and we look forward to the next one, as long as it's not $20. Penny Arcade Adventures on the Rain-Slick Precipice of Darkness, Episode 1, gets 4 urinating robots out of 5.
And when X-Play returns, we protect our delicious, delicious brains as we preview Monster Madness Grave Danger for the PS Triple.
Hi, my name's Peter Molyneux. I'm creative director on the Fable game. You're watching X-Play.
Attack of the Show Summer Movie Preview tonight at 7 and 10, only on G4. Download this show now as a G4 podcast.
Welcome back to X-Play. Now when zombies finally attack, and they will, you can bet that FEMA won't be any kind of help. It'll be up to you and your ragtag group of friends to keep your city safe from the roving hordes of the undead. Well, here's our preview of Monster Madness Grave Danger for the PlayStation 3. A fresh grave's been dug, but it's not an invitation to a worm's banquet. It's a rising. Monster Madness has been reborn from its battle for suburbia ashes, whose limited multiplayer and scant upgrade system made many drop it like a loser in a slug-catching contest.
You sure?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Monster Madness Grave Danger brings the original 4 tortured teens back to the PS3, this time for a blimp load of Buffy the Vampire blathering.
Hey!
But this time, post-puberty will be armed to its braced teeth. Weapon upgrades have been completely overhauled to include the ability to create hybridized killing contraptions combined from found objects and traditional weapons. A friendly voice that seems on loan from an incontinence ad delivers vehicles, giving you access to different levels and types of conflict.
I built a little vehicle for you kids. Not my best work.
He'll also toss you the odd item that helps when things get a bit thick.
I found this here werewolf tooth. I did some research and found out how to harness its powers.
The top-down camera has improved for maximum executable views. Run with the left analog stick and shoot with the right. Simple? Not so simple. Certain enemies require elemental responses, and while your inventory system has them, once out and armed, lesser-feted foes will be all up in and over your grill. Multiplayer promises up to 4-player co-op either on or offline via the PlayStation Network.
What the?
So, with a fistful of the seething, non-stop incendiary slaughter smeared over some USDA Prime Unreal 3 engine beef, you might just have something to bite into.
And you are my dinner man.
We'll have to let you know when Monster Madness Grave Digger is released in July.